What's up guys, Dr. Greg here back with another episode of Braces Explained where we answer all your orthodontic concerns. If this is your first time on the channel, consider hitting the subscribe button so you can stay up to date with all of this content. And if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. Today what we're going to be talking about is the difference between metal and ceramic or clear braces. So let's go. So the question of comparing clear or ceramic brackets versus metal braces is something that you guys have brought up a lot over the last couple of months, and I want to spend a little bit of time today talking about the differences. So first of all, when I use the word ceramic or clear braces, they're pretty much the same thing, so I'm going to use them interchangeably for the purposes of today's video. We really can't compare the clear versus ceramic brackets if we don't know what they look like. So let's first take a closer look at what these braces look like. The metal braces are something you're more familiar with, and these are basically that the brackets that are attached to each tooth are made out of stainless steel and they're bonded onto each individual tooth. They can be tied in by either using color ligatures, clear ligatures, steel ligatures, or self-ligating doors, which I talked about in a previous video and I'm gonna go ahead and link out in this corner. So you guys are really familiar with how these braces work if you've watched a number of my videos. So let's take a little closer look at what ceramic braces look like. The first thing you'll notice is that the bracket that's attached to the tooth is clear. You may have noticed the blue lines, and those lines are used as markers so that your orthodontist can orient the brackets. But once the brackets are placed on the teeth, these blue marks can be removed by using water, and that little green dot you notice will also be removed at this time, leaving the brackets practically clear. Most of the time the whole bracket is clear, but sometimes there's a metal insert like you can see here, and that makes it so that the bracket doesn't break as easily, which is one of the cons of using clear brackets, which I'll talk about in just a second. In certain types of clear braces, depending on the company though, they will be totally clear for the bracket part of it. Usually the clear braces only come from the premolar to premolar, so the molar teeth generally are gonna have metal brackets on it simply because you really can't see them, and there's a much higher chance of brackets being broken back there, which is one of the drawbacks of clear braces. So now let's really break down the pros and the cons of clear versus metal braces. The one thing I want you guys to take home is that the end result of clear braces versus metal braces should be the same. The types of braces that we use shouldn't dictate your final result, so every case that can be treated with metal braces can also be treated with clear braces. That being said, the wires and the mechanics that we use are also often very similar. So even though you might have clear braces, most of the time your orthodontist will use a metal wire to tie the teeth together. So yes, it's a lot less noticeable than the metal braces, but the wire is still metallic and you can still kind of see it. So when people get the ceramic braces, they feel as though they're not going to see anything, but they still might see that wire that runs across your teeth. And a lot of the times you might pick up stain around the bracket. Now, these clear brackets can't stain because of the material they're made out of, but the area where the bracket and the tooth touch is an area where staining can occur, so a lot of people might still notice these clear brackets. That being said though, these brackets are pretty aesthetic, so a lot of the times I still recommend it for patients that are concerned about aesthetics of wearing braces. The biggest drawback for these ceramic braces versus the metal braces for me personally is the fact that they're a lot more brittle, and that's because of the material. Metal braces tend to stay intact because they're metal, but these ceramic braces tend to fracture. And a lot of people might say, well, I have metal braces and my braces broke, right? What I'm talking about isn't that the bracket broke off of the tooth. What I'm saying is the bracket sometimes breaks in half while still attached to the tooth. And the result of this is that we're gonna have to remove that bracket and replace it with a new bracket. And sometimes we have to go to a lighter wire, and this will increase your treatment time. So I always tell my braces patients that have clear braces, you have to be super careful about foods to avoid so that you don't chip these braces. And here's a link out to a video about some of the foods you should avoid, especially when you're wearing ceramic braces. Another thing you should know about these clear brackets is that they're a little bit more large or bulky than the metal brackets. And this is because of the same reason as I mentioned earlier. These ceramic brackets have a higher chance of chipping when compared to metal. So to decrease their chance of chipping, these manufacturers will make them a little bit larger so that they have more reinforcement and have a less likely chance of chipping. But the main take-home message at the end of the day is that ceramic brackets still are great for those patients that are concerned about aesthetics. They look great and they're a lot less noticeable than the metal braces. But there are some drawbacks, like I mentioned. They're bigger and they have a higher chance of chipping, which may increase your treatment time if you aren't careful with what you eat. But at the end of the day, you will get the same result with clear versus metal braces. The mechanics that your orthodontist uses will be the same, and you should still have a fantastic result that you and your doctor can be happy about at the end of the day. I hope this video answered some of your questions about the differences between the metal versus the ceramic brackets, and if it didn't, please leave a question in the comments of this video. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and make sure to follow me on Instagram at Dr. Greg Ortho so you can stay up to date with more of my cases and my personal life and stuff like that. I'd love to see you guys on there. That's all I have for you guys today. So with that said, Dr. Greg out.